Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Ji ayanu. Pakhair ragale. Ni hao. Chuna shumme. Washmale. Ohio gozaimasu. Guten Morgen. Hi, hugs, hellos. Hola, bonjour, privyet. And a very amazing khush hamadid to everyone who's tuned into PT World and watching World this morning alongside Maha Makhdoom and Shazad Khan. Hello, Maha. How are you? I so wanted to say that very blue Shazad Khan, but then I didn't say it because of the fact that Maha told me what blue and red means.
Yeah, but he still keeps using it when I'm wearing those colors. So that's very interesting to see that behavior. Anyway, I'm very good today. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to the show, and it is our final show of the week. We do have a very interesting show for you. We've got a lot of stuff in the studio as well, but we're not going to be doing our normal routine today.
Yes, obviously, because of the fact that today we do have a very definitely special day, and we are going to observe it alongside our panelists over here. Then we've got somebody who's actually standing today and behind the counter too. But other than that, Maha, now there's one thing which I want to ask, and that is that whenever you feel hungry,
Yes.
do you really think that what you're going to eat, or you just eat whatever you find?
Oh, well, it depends if I'm craving something, but I do actually really think about what I'm going to eat. So yesterday I was feeling really hungry, and I was like, I'm not going to eat junk food. I'm going to, have some vegetables and have some cheese
Really?
and bread. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I
Gotta be
think because
healthy.
that's what they say, that you are what you eat. But other than that, with me, I think I have a problem. So whenever I sleep and whenever I get up, so the moment I open my eyes, I need to eat something.
Yes, absolutely.
I think
Your
I
body's
do not
starving
know why.
because your body's still
No,
working, dude.
even if I sleep for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, even if I've had food prior to that, even if I wake up after 10 minutes, I have to eat.
Okay, that is a problem. Let's probably
And then
address
whatever
that.
I find, for example, if it's chips, crisp, whatever, I just eat it.
That's not healthy, and that's why
Yeah, that's
maybe.
why. But at least I'm going to the gym now, so
Okay.
it's perfectly all right.
Okay,
Wait,
but no, you
let me
should still
flex
be
my
eating.
muscles.
You
Yeah.
should still be eating healthily, and you should have a healthy lifestyle as well. You distract me when I'm trying to talk. Anyway, but today we are observing World Chef Day. It is we've highlighted this a few times in the past as well, but we're going to be discussing about it on the level of institutions and everything. But before we discuss everything,
And
we're gonna
before I give out information about how many countries actually observed the day and why was it created, the year which we started to celebrate this day, and I think what we need to do is that we need to move on towards our
public service message, and let's quickly get on with that. Okay, so the public service message today is linked to the show. It is about watching what you eat, because at the end of the day, the health is the most important part of your life. Because if you're not healthy, if you have health problems, the quality of your life, the people around you are going to suffer. So if you instill that within your kids as well, that to have 5 fruits or veg a day, have your water, try to avoid junk food, do that, because Pakistan is full of wonderful fruits and different kind of foods that you can really enjoy, which you don't get in any other part of the world.
And even then, at the same time, 40% of the population of Pakistan is malnourished, ladies and gentlemen. So we probably need to put more focus on what we are eating and what we are leaving behind as well. But other than that, one more important thing which Maha would love to add to the public service message, and that is that my mother instilled this habit in all of us siblings, that before leaving for school, we need to have our breakfast. These days, I see this trend that mothers do not really want to wake up and the kids don't have breakfast. So how do you think that they're going to learn when they won't have any energy?
Yeah, maybe, and also maybe the mothers and fathers can get up and make breakfast for their children together. So that would be great too. So on that note, let's get the show started. It is World Chef Day, and the theme for this year is Foods for Healthy Heroes. Healthy food for healthy heroes.
Healthy food for healthy heroes, ladies and gentlemen. The day was, for the very first time, the day was observed in 2004. 103 countries actually observed this day. And the last year, the theme was that, I think food on the plate, something of that sort as well. But other than that, culinary as a subject, culinary as a career, chef as a career, I don't think that, Pakistan is probably heading in the right direction with such particular jobs or probably careers.
Yeah.
Now, what we need to do is that we need to highlight, because International Chef Day is probably observed so that they can transfer all of those skills which they have learned and the commitment with their work, so that people can actually perform and
Exactly,
do well.
and it is our duty to highlight, what actually goes down on ground level, because it looks so glamorous, but actually, if you've seen behind, what's happening in the kitchen, it's stressful. And in England, you have Gordon Ramsay, who's just scared.
Yeah.
Now chefs scare me. But anyway, with that,
No,
Shazad,
no, but talking about Gordon Ramsay, I don't know why, but he takes the bash out of people on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
So people post pictures that, okay, this is what we cooked, and he says such bad things about that. Well, oh my God.
Okay, so anyway, with that, we're going
Okay,
to
but who's your favorite cook or chef?
right now, I can't think of it, Shazad.
No, just imagine.
No, because I used to watch the show in England, Chef, Top Chef, or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything right now, but let's just get on
That's
with the
perfectly
show.
right.
And
Ask me the same question.
who's your favorite chef?
My mom.
Okay, great. Oh, yes, of course, my mother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on my right-hand side. Now, I think that, wow, I mean, this is very inspiring. So he was an investment banker in London earlier, and then he chose to be a chef, and now he's an entrepreneur as well. He's the owner of Chatta's, which is in F10, if I'm not wrong, and he's none other than Mr. Waqar Chatta. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, very well.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for staying here throughout the introduction.
Thank you for having me.
Did you bring along some free vouchers as well, where we can go
I
to your
actually
restaurant?
brought some free food for you.
Wow.
There's some Hari waiting for you outside.
Okay.
That's great. Alongside Mr. Waqar Chatta, we have been joined by somebody who's from Austria. He's an executive chef in Islamabad Marriott Hotel. He's none other than Mr. Thomas Figov. That's
Hi,
right.
Phil. Hello, how are you?
Walaikum
Hello,
assalam.
good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. Looks like, ladies and gentlemen, whatever our chefs have been cooking, they've been eating it too much as well.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
My mother was also a good cook.
Everyone, our moms are all good cooks. Great.
Yeah, alongside Mr. Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by somebody who's the Director of Food and Beverage, World Continental Rawal Pindi. He's none other than Mr. Hassan Khurshid. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum salam. Thank you. I'm very well.
Thank you for
Thank you
joining
very
us.
much for joining us. And last but not the least, do you want to do it?
Why?
Just like that.
Okay, yeah, sure. We've been joined by Henna Salad. She is a sous chef at Pearl Continental, Rawal Pindi. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are
Hello,
you?
Henna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you sure that you're not going to feel tired after a while?
No,
Because
not
you
sure.
have to stand for the
Yeah,
next
it's
40
No,
minutes.
it's part of my job.
All right, what are you going to do today?
Today is a very simple salad.
Okay.
As you're talking about the healthy food.
Yeah.
So we present here how to make a Nisma salad, which is
Okay.
very famous in the world.
Okay,
Wow.
wonderful. And we will do that a little bit later on in the show, but we're going to get the conversation started. So we'll start with Waqar. Today, World Chef Day, not many people are aware about it. So how do you feel when you see that we're observing or people are aware of this kind of day?
Normally in Pakistan, we don't have much awareness about this whole profession.
Okay.
Worldwide, people have a lot of respect and privileges, I would say, they get if they're the chefs around the world. But in Pakistan, we don't observe such days that often. This is a good initiative that we're talking about it, that we're creating more awareness amongst the people. And see things improve from here once we talk about these issues.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about the issues.
No, but I don't think that I can relate to that, Mr. Waqar, and just
But
because
what?
of the fact that we have got Thomas here from Austria as well. So when we say that, within Pakistan, we do not see this as a trending sort of career as well. So, Mr. Thomas, what brings you to Pakistan?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
See, I'm an international chef, so I'm around the world. But
Yeah.
why did I choose to come to Pakistan is really because of the opportunity. I work in other countries in Asia when there was the boom, but every country has a time, and I believe it is the golden time for Pakistan. You have stability, we have investment banker coming back, open restaurants. All of this is for me signs, and it all points in the same direction. We are moving in the golden time of Pakistan.
Okay.
If you look about the standards, yes, we are still a little bit behind, and there's a lot to do. But I think bringing more international people will help to move forward.
Okay, great. So, but like you mentioned, and also last time you were on the show, we discussed that the different countries you've been to. How do they observe these kind of days there, or do they need to, or is it just respected enough that you don't need to raise that awareness?
I think in general we have a direction of celebrating a lot of things. For us as chefs and F&Bs, we are very happy that we are recognized. As you say, Gordon Ramsay is very crazy in the kitchen, but it is a crazy work. It is a very hard work, and as you say, people see sometimes things on the TV and think it's all glorious, but if you're in the kitchen for 15 hours cooking and the guest is still not coming and you're waiting to serve your 6-course menu and you have another 3 hours of stress, that shows how difficult it is. And for this, we're very happy that we are recognized.
Okay, and we do have a lot of trailers as well to try and show you actually, yes, despite the glamour that is portrayed, it's a very difficult role. So let's move on
Ms. Hassan.
to Mr. Hassan. you know, you're part of a big organization which has chefs. You invite them from different countries. Now, I'm more on the side of what Mr. Vakar said, in the sense that we don't have that culture here. We are, but we're calling people from abroad instead of refining our own talent and stuff. But how important is it to invite people over, learn from them, and try and establish that industry?
Actually, as you said, that we are getting the chefs from abroad. That brings the exposure to our local chefs.
Okay.
They have the opportunity to learn, where we cannot afford to send so many chefs abroad. So we bring one expatriate chef from any country with his expertise, and then with the time he spends here, he trains our whole lottery team in a hotel.
Okay.
So basically, Pakistan is progressing as far as the industry is concerned, and we are having on a prime TV a show like this for the chefs. It's a change.
Okay.
All right,
It's
but
moving
other
in the
than
right
that,
direction.
what I want to ask is, what is the job orientation of a director, food and beverage?
Food and beverages are divided in bigger operations are divided in three basic roles. So one is management, and one is production. So chefs are in the production side, whereas to support them on the management side, to bring the resources to them, whatever they need, to make it easier for them so they can concentrate in the kitchen.
So what you
That
have to
part
do is
comes
that,
in.
for example, if you come early in the morning and you meet Mr. Thomas and he tells you that I need capsicum today, or these,
Yeah.
or these ingredients, you have to manage them all.
That I have to coordinate with the other departments. So I am actually working for the chefs, so they remain comfortable
Okay,
and they
excellent.
can produce a good food.
Well,
Excellent.
imagine having somebody at home who's actually working so that our mothers can feel comfortable as well.
Yeah.
Beta pyaz kaat do, beta aloo kaat
But
do.
that's why a lot of, like, some people have help here, right? So
Yeah.
let's ask Henna. Normally you see male chefs like in that position, in that limelight. You know, even abroad, it's always about the male Michelin chefs. How is it being a female act but working in a professional capacity? Because, you know, his favorite chef is his mom, but she cooks at home. Like, so now you've stepped out, you've made an actual career out of it. So
You know, in this field, as you were saying, everyone here, only the females are very less in this field.
Yeah.
But it's tough, but it's as much comfortable.
okay, so
I'm
it's
in
tough,
this
but it's
field for
good.
last 15 years. At that time, I was very young,
Okay.
and I was very scared. And you know, chefs are very hyper.
Yeah.
As you were saying, the Gordon Ramsay and Jamie's Oliver or other chefs.
Yeah.
But that was, you know, when the operation time, when we are working on the table, we were working in the environment, that make us hyper. na?
But what I want to ask over here is, Miss Henna, that usually what happens is that, you know, if your father is a good chef, so, you know, you wait for him to come back home and then you'll request him that please cook something.
Yes.
Now, as a matter of fact, because over here in Pakistan we have this tradition where women cook most of the time.
Yes.
So when you go back home and somebody requests you, what do you say to them? Because, you know, you've been in the kitchen for the last 15 hours. What do you say? Do you say that I'm tired, or do you cook?
No. I go inside and cook.
Really?
Yes.
Quite harsh that they're
I
making
love
you
to
do
work.
that.
I love to make different cuisines, different food. I'm very much passionate about my
Okay,
cuisine.
wonderful.
Right. I think
Okay.
the same question I want to ask for Mr. Vakar as well and Mr. Thomas. So, when you go back home, do you have to cook yourself as well?
No, when you're at the restaurant, you get a chance to eat all the time. But yeah, on the holidays, if in this job you really, it's difficult to get a day off. That's what we were talking about, Thomas and I, before the show. That it's kind of 7 days a week sort of job, 365 days. Even when it's a public holiday,
Yeah.
it's a normal weekend. So whenever it's off time for the general public, it's your busy time.
Yeah.
And coming to the point about the chefs being hyper in the kitchen, it's unbelievable how much pressure you have in the kitchen. People think it's like you're just in the kitchen, especially if you're an executive chef, you're just sitting around there telling people what to do. But exactly when you know how many people are waiting for their food outside, there's so much pressure. You're getting so many things done at the same time and trying to get the best food out. It should be piping hot if it's hot food served. So it's quite a stressful job, and that makes you quite anxious in the
And
kitchen.
also, but at the same time, it is a service industry, right? So people will give
Yes.
you feedback. So if it, I mean, I'm really vocal. I'm feeling really guilty now.
Let's see what Thomas has to say. Yeah.
Actually, you know, one of my hobby is to cook with friends. In Beirut, we had a group, unfortunately they're all men, and they say, A, they want to cook with me to learn something, and B, it was also for me so really a de-stressing. Just being with 6 friends, having a nice piece of meat, making nice soups, appetizer, one guy makes a dessert, and then being together for these 5-6 hours, then being another 6 hours eating and enjoying together.
That's amazing.
But this cooking is completely different than the cooking in the hotel.
Okay, so
Before we move on to Western, what do they request you to cook? This is something which I'm very keen to know.
Actually, when I cook with my friends, whatever I touch, they're behind me and say, how is he making the prawns? How is he making the salad? Thomas, you check my soup, is this good? And then they look what I do. You see, sometimes you have the product, but then comes my experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And I maybe put 2-3 things and it
up.
makes a small difference and you have new flavors in the mouth. That's where the real experience comes. You have the basic and then from there, push it up another level.
Okay, wonderful. And on that note, we're now going to share with you the trailer for Ratatouille, which is a family film as well. And it's great. It's a funny way of seeing what actually goes behind it.
And
So
my
have a look.
producer pronounces the way
It's not.
Ratatouille.
No.
Well, let's take a look.
He doesn't, but let's go take a look at Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
World. All my life, I've wanted to be one of them. You may think that's a strange dream for a rat, but I've always believed that with hard work and a little luck, it's only a matter of time before I'm discovered.
Run! Get some... Do you know what would happen if anyone knew we had a rat in our kitchen? Go! Take it away from here, garbage boy!
Don't look at me like that! You're the one who was good and fancy with the spices! Job. I've lost so many. I don't know how to cook, and now I'm actually talking to a rat as if you... Did you not? You understand me? I can't cook, but you can, right? Look, don't be so modest. You're a rat, for Pete's sake. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? We just need to work out a system so that I do what you want.
Stop that!
Stop what?
Clicking me out!
Ooh.
I want to make things, Dad.
Stay away from the humans. It's dangerous. Now shut up and eat your garbage.
Oh. How did you do that?
Just once in a lifetime.
Let's do this thing!
Man knows a moment.
You gotta taste this! You detect that? An oaky nuttiness?
Oh, I'm detecting nuttiness.
Hate to be rude, but we're French.
I have a secret. I have a rat.
You have a rush?
She's toying with my mind, taunting me with that rat.
As though I had wings.
Come on! It's getting away!
Together, we can be the greatest chef in Paris.
Ratatouille?
You're in Paris now, baby. My town. Hey.
What are you doing?
I'm cutting vegetables. I'm cutting the vegetables.
No, you waste energy and time. You think cooking is a cute job, eh? Like mommy in the kitchen? Well, mommy never had to face the dinner rush when the orders come flooding in and every dish is different and none are simple and all of the different cooking times but must arrive on the customer's table at exactly the same time, hot and perfect. Every second counts and you cannot be mommy. What is this? Keep your station clear. When the meal rush comes, what will happen? Messy station slow things down. Food doesn't go, orders pile up, disaster. I'll make this easy to remember. Keep your station clear, or I will kill you.
And now we're going to pass over to Henna, and she's going to give us a little insight on how to make a healthy nikwa salad. Which one? Niswa, sorry.
Niswas? What do we actually mean by that?
Beautiful city of Nice. That's where it's coming
Of
from.
course.
France.
I never knew how to pronounce it. Now I do. Sorry,
No,
that was embarrassing.
because I was thinking something to eat. Yeah, you know.
Niswas. Yeah. So tell us about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to, I'm going to show you the ingredients. First
Yeah.
of all, I have here iceberg, fresh iceberg. It's easily available in the market. Some leaves. I have some colored capsicums, as you can see, yellow. Some tomatoes. Here I have boiled potatoes. It's an optional. If you don't want to add, you can skip. Black olives, green beans, green capsicum, red capsicum. It's a tuna fish.
Wow,
It's a
I love
main
it.
ingredient in the salad. Anchovies fillet. It's available in the market. Both things are available in the market in the tins, and hard-boiled eggs. So it's very easy recipe. And for the topping, I have some really great dressing in which I've added some olive oil, some black pepper, salt, and lemon juice, and little English herbs.
Amazing.
Like
Now, Henna,
all-
what I want to ask is that,
very
for
easy.
for a person like me, even if you're going to give me all of these ingredients, what I'm going to do is, if I'm supposed to make that salad, I'll just mix them all and
Yes.
that's it.
And that's
It's
why
just like
we
that.
yeah, that's why we have days like this and people like this just tell us the little secrets, right? So don't now learn. We'll all
I'm
learn.
going to add some iceberg, some boiled potatoes. All are freshly cut vegetables.
Well, I learned.
You do have to just
Try
throw it
to
all
give
together.
these salads in the lunch box in the lunchtime. It's very healthy, nutritional.
I can even see the sandwiches over there. What are they?
Yes,
What are they doing over
it's
there?
for you.
Thank you.
It's for your tea time.
Healthy foods for healthy hero, guys. Let's
Yeah.
focus on the healthy
Healthy
foods.
We are the heroes today.
I'm going to add some tuna fish inside.
Put all of it. I love tuna fish.
Sure? Okay.
You really did.
See, that is why the salads never come right. You put too much.
Yeah.
Proportions have to be right. That is the secret.
And she was so sweet. She sacrificed her salad for your request.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to add some vinaigrette dressing.
The vinaigrette
It's
is
very easy and simple.
And do you think
salad?
that salads
Make it
are all
at
about
home.
presentation as well?
Yes, it is.
All right. So now we put all of those things and then we mix them.
Mix them well. Sorry, I
I
missed
just
the
can't
black
wait to eat
pepper.
though.
As you know, we Pakistani people love to eat some spices.
That's
Yeah.
another thing I wanted to actually discuss, but that's later on in the part. How we, modify the foods for different regions and stuff.
Yeah, because for example, if you talk about all of those franchises over here, all of those franchises making pizzas, burgers, and whatnot, what they do is before they enter any region of the world, they actually do a spice test as well, and then afterwards they maneuver alongside the taste of the people of that particular region. Is that correct, Thomas? Do you have to do it?
It's not my field.
Yeah, no, that's what we ask customers.
Of
But
franchise.
that does happen. International renowned brand, when they come to Pakistan, they do the research work and they check the local palate and they adjust their product according to that. And
Okay.
Many
Because
famous
I've
ones
got
have
an
done
incident to share over here, and that incident is that once we were doing a show for the Chinese people, after the CPAC, obviously there are so many other Chinese people who are over here in Pakistan. We definitely love them as well. Pakchi Dosti, Wong Swai. So what happened that we hired a chef from a very famous Chinese restaurant over here in Islamabad, and then we cooked Chinese food for all of those Chinese people. And the first spoon they put in their mouth, they started spitting. And they were like, it's not even Chinese. So, and that was the time when I realized that all of our life, we have whatever food we have been eating, which we call Chinese, wasn't really Chinese.
No, it's not. So that's
Yeah, but
that is impressed from the Sichuan region, because the Chinese, only the Sichuan region has some spices used in their
But it's
food.
a completely different kind of food. Like,
Yes.
but
But the
Thomas,
mainland and Cantonese side is
Okay.
different.
okay, yes,
yeah,
Thomas.
first of all, you have regional food in China, and second, it is for sure the Chinese food here in Pakistan is adjusted to the local market. But again, you also have in the Chinese now that more Chinese chefs are coming and really cooking professional food. So in terms of getting more professional people and really do it like in China, it's a trend. But there's people who still like the traditional Pakistani dishes, what are Chinese Pakistani maybe. And on one side, you have more professional approach for real Chinese dishes.
Okay, and excellent. So now Henna is done. So let's have a
Yes,
look at the
I'm
final
done.
product. If
As
you
you
just
can
lift
see.
it up a tiny bit so that our viewers can just have a little look into
Yeah.
the.
Just tilt it a bit. That was quick
Is it
too.
tempting or not?
Yeah, that was very quick.
Get some, yeah, excellent.
Very.
Okay, so this is
but
a
in the preparation, it takes time.
niçoise salad.
Niçoise.
Yes?
Yes, yes.
Niçoise. Okay.
Wow. I
Okay,
just can't
now-
wait to eat it.
okay.
Can we go for a short break?
No, no,
So that I can
because-
actually
no.
taste it as well.
We're going to now get onto the serious
And
conversation.
Henna, you can sit.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
and
Thank
now
you.
let's have a serious conversation about the social stigma and all of that attached. Yes, it's wonderful. You know, we're observing the day on national television. We're at that stage where international chefs are coming here because they see this as a golden time for Pakistani culinary. But as you all know, there are social stigmas attached with getting into this profession, as you've already briefly mentioned, Vagar. So tell us, how do we get rid of them? What are the issues that we're facing?
Sorry.
One of the biggest challenges in our society or in Pakistan, or at least what I faced when I moved back to Pakistan, is that people have this very different perception of how a person would be successful. That is the sort of traditional thing going on in Pakistan. Either you have to become a doctor or an engineer or a banker or something along those lines, or a government officer. That is the only criteria of success in our culture. And that is the biggest problem we have. We don't appreciate different professions, and chefs is one of them. So when I came back, everyone thought what I have done, I made a mistake coming back to Pakistan from England and changing my profession altogether. So I'm gonna be like cooking salan, khane pakaunga, that sort of thing. And plus,
तुम क्या कर रहे हो पुत्र?
exactly, ये तुमने क्या काम पकड़ लिया, रोटी सालन रोटियां पकाओगे, आटा गूंदोगे, that sort of thing. So that is the biggest problem. We have to change the mindset of our people. But gradually, as Thomas said, this is a good time for Pakistan for business. It's a great opportunity for young entrepreneurs to start their businesses, starting their cafes, restaurants, whatever they're doing. One thing they need to do is, or they need to learn is, how to run the kitchen. Because most of the restaurants that open up, they close down, and that is the very reason they never even probably go to the kitchen themselves.
Okay, so that you've highlighted two really important aspects. But Shazad, do you have any answer?
Yeah, what I wanted to ask over here is, you have actually pointed it out. So what we can do is that you can even share information about how to run the kitchen. Because we've seen this trend over here in Islam, but quite a lot, there are people who go to their dads, oh, boo, I want to work, and, please, can you give me some money? And then they open up a restaurant, but they never went to the kitchen.
Yes.
So what kind of piece of information are you going to share with all of those people that if you do these things, it'll be superb?
Or do you think that's the way forward, or should we now start putting pressure on getting these institutions and educational centers built so people can learn what actually goes behind being a chef and running a kitchen?
Because did you learn yourself?
No, I'm self-taught. I used to cook myself, and then I started reading books. I used to watch a lot of TV programs, learned it from there. But we should have institutions where you get training, and also we should have apprenticeship at restaurants, at good restaurants, with chefs like Thomas. There needs to be apprentice, and we need to encourage our young people to go into those kitchens and learn from experienced chefs.
Okay.
Very nice. So Thomas, what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, in Europe, in Germany, in Austria, we have a very good apprentice system where you work 3 years in the hotel, and then you for 2 months or twice a week in the hotel school. So this education system is very good. So if we can move into that direction, I think we would have achieved a lot. In the moment, we have apprentice in our place, and we are training them, but the issue is we don't have the government support from another school. So if we have the apprentice system, we could take in more. They would work 4 or 5 days with us and then go to the school.
Okay.
But in that approach, it's very important that the apprentice is under the hotel. Because if you have hotel schools who want to make money, then they like to own the apprentice or the trainees, and then they are not under the hotel. And that's when it's never working. Okay. So I've seen in many countries also where we are in the developing stage that the apprentice should be always under the hotel and should have school support from the government.
Okay.
All right. But moving on to the Director of Food and Beverage, what I wanted to ask is, I think it's a very interesting question. That is, for example, if you make Chinese food, which tastes great, and even if, for example, I invite Thomas to come over to my place and he cooks at my place as well, if I get the opportunity, so it's not going to cost us that much, right? So why is it that whenever we go to a hotel or to a restaurant, the food is expensive? Well, why isn't it available for anybody who wants to just come in and have a good taste of what Thomas cooks?
How do you do the pricing?
Yeah, why do we do it like this? For example, if we go to a Chinese restaurant, 15,000 rupees for 3 people, oh my, that's half my salary.
15,000 is a little bit exaggerated.
But it's an exaggeration. But it happens.
How much you order that is one of
How
the
many
reasons.
friends you have?
No, I just thought about Alpha Bravo Charlie, where he went out on a date and
No, but it's
she ordered
actually
the entire
true.
menu.
Depending what dishes you order.
That was the drama part, but actually For the viewers also, let me explain. When you go to a quality place, where do you have all the standards implemented in kitchen? Where do you buy the best product available in market?
Yeah.
There where you have certain standards implemented, everything has a cost.
Okay.
And then when the food comes on your table finally, the channels is get through, the environment, the ambience, the
Okay.
service staff,
Right.
everything has a cost. We have to maintain that our expenses are met. So
And I think I want to add on one
yeah,
thing.
and I will
The
add
most
on that.
important part. You see, when you're in the food business, the minute you buy your product, it starts to get spoiled.
yes,
You see, that's where our calculation for sure works different than if you're in the water business, in the newspaper, you buy. But we buy the product, and don't forget, the minute you buy, it gets spoiled.
Yes.
This is the hard part of the food business.
Okay, exactly. So
Yeah, it
the
is.
costs are different. Okay, so now that's the thing. So like you said, the danger, I wanted to pick up on the danger you said of hotels or chains becoming schools themselves, because then they will own the apprentice, and then, the career that will not, won't be a positive career for someone. Within Pakistan, let's ask you, Hassan, how would you say we go forward now? Because unfortunately, no hotel chain or restaurant is that kind that they will train their apprentice and then let them flourish and grow and go somewhere else. They will control them. How can you guys support them more? Because
we are supporting. In my own kitchen, only 48 apprentices are there who are learning. They
That's a
will be
lot.
becoming chefs. That's a lot.
yeah,
And
you
I
said
have to
only,
deal with
but that's
them.
a lot. Yeah.
And then on the public sector, on the education sector,
Yeah.
the institutes, unfortunately in Pakistan, there are only 2 or 3 institutes. And they are also on the business side of.
Okay, excellent.
I'm sorry, their mind, but they don't have the practical education at their levels, and they depend on the hotels or other restaurants who are in business
Okay.
to train their apprentices.
Absolutely. So then you train them, but that's the thing. If you're dependent on it, then it should become a kind of a reciprocal relationship, right? So it is a business, but if it's up to you to train them, then it's also up to the industry to
I
then
think it's about
provide
human
them.
resource management as well,
Yeah.
because people really have to look after how many people are coming in and going out. But Henna, I have a question for you. And that question is now, for example, if you have so many people working under you, for example, 48, as he said, and then there's a
So
bigger
much
lunch,
training.
and there are people coming in, and everybody's excited, and then you told one of the apprentices that what you're supposed to do is put these salts and cook this, and you weren't around. What if they mess up and you do not have time to do anything else?
At that time, I will think about the shortcut.
But people do mess up, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
they do.
all the time.
All the
They
time.
do.
All the
Sometimes
time. Okay, that's
they got panic. Sometimes they make disaster things. They destroy the food. When I was at that time, when I was a learner,
Yeah.
it happens with me also.
Okay.
So we try to manage.
okay.
Let's
Okay.
ask Thomas. I want to ask Thomas.
We
too.
have to.
I have a nice story to tell here.
Sure.
Please.
I was working in a vineyard for a very nice dinner in Germany, and then the guy who makes the wine, he say, okay, when you make a mistake, you take it and you put it in the garbage. When I make a mistake, it take 1 year to make another one.
Excellent. And now, on that note, let's go share a trailer with you called Chef, and hopefully it will give you a little insight onto what goes on. Let's take a look.
Good morning.
This is madness, huh?
There's carne asada. Check it out.
Wow. Chef Big Dog up all night cooking. Shut up and taste this, a mousse douche. Come here, guy. Look at that.
You like it?
Yeah.
We're gonna cook like this.
We're being reviewed by the most important critic in the city.
Now suddenly you're going to be an artist. Well, be an artist on your own time. It's my restaurant.
The kitchen is my domain. That was our deal.
The deal is now changed. Either you stay or you go.
So you're threatening to fire me now?
No, I'm telling you what I'm prepared to do if you don't cook my menu.
It's up. The review's out. His dramatic weight gain can only be explained by the fact that he must be eating all the food sent back to the kitchen.
You didn't like what they wrote about you?
I don't like it either.
Who cares? I do, because I could have done better. I should have cooked food that I was gonna cook. There are chefs that cook food that they believe in, and people will try because they're open to a new experience, and they'll end up liking it.
Hey, what are you doing? Don't do it. What are you writing?
Chef, don't. That's not a good
Listen,
idea.
just listen. I won't send it until we all say it's okay. Why don't you come by again tonight? I got a whole new menu just for you.
No,
That's not good.
Hey, give me the phone. Give me the phone.
Don't do it. That's out there now,
This
bro.
has happened.
Why would you do
You
that?
can't take that back.
Dad, did you post anything since last night?
You gotta be kidding me.
Wow. You realize how many people have read this?
You're trending, bro.
You're never going to be happy cooking for someone else.
Food truck's a great idea. We're talking about a white-on-white 88 Chevy Grumman food truck. It's a blank canvas for your dreams. I'm gonna have them pull it around.
Thank you.
Don't thank me till you see it.
So what are you gonna do?
You're gonna laugh.
Tony, Carl's got a taco truck.
For real?
I was so jealous when I heard your voice. I was like, that's what I want to do.
I get to touch people's lives with what I do, and I love it. And I want to share this with you.
Welcome back, everyone, and that was Chef, and it's a fun movie that you can watch, but it's also giving you an insight on, what kind of what's required. But now, Shahzad, we're talking about, he's been talking about getting secrets. He's been talking about that the whole time, every time we go.
Yeah, but other than that, I was just telling Thomas and everybody who's over here on the show today that even my sisters do not share recipes.
Okay.
And they have issues about it.
Exactly. Now, this is the thing. Even I've noticed that even with my, I have an Italian friend who's a great cook, and I watch, but there's certain things like, oh, how do you make this? And like people are a bit reluctant to.
It's just like, for example, your exams are here, and your class fellows start asking you whether you're studying or not, and you say, no, I'm not studying.
I didn't. Those people always. You know who you are. Okay, so let's start with you, guys, and then let's move on down, and we'll move on down to Henna.
Well, personally, I don't mind sharing any of the recipes because my restaurant is very much focused on authentic Pakistani food. And I always say, whenever anyone asks me for the recipe, I tell them because there is no rocket science about it. It's very simple, just the right amount of spices. I think the key for good food, in my opinion, is a quality ingredient. So if you're making a mutton kadai, we were talking about the kadais earlier, it depends on the quality of mutton you're using. And then the spices, if it's the red pepper, chili, fresh tomatoes and stuff. So that is the secret to me. And I'm always open to tell anyone like it.
Alright, so anybody wants to ask whatever, what you can do is you can write to us on our Facebook fan page. But Thomas, what about you?
I think there's a lot of secrets, but you see, we are in a world where we're constant engaged with pictures, with recipes, with Google search. So everybody think he know everything, And people show me this picture and make this for me. But when they need to make it themselves, they see how hard it is.
Yes.
We talked before at the beginning, apprentice. Yes, you make mistakes. I also make 1,000 mistakes. But I am who I am, and I know these things now because I cook these things, I make these mistakes. Many times I throw away food also because it was uneatable. And then you learn with the things. But cooking is an art what you need to learn for 8-9 years. You cannot just learn it. It's a little bit like golf. Tennis you learn in 6 months, you're good, but in golf there comes no development. A good chef needs 8-9 years to cook, and then you start as commis, and then you're demi chef and CDP. I'm now cooking 25 years, and I say I only have 2 recipes, 25 years of experience and a lot of love. So how can I translate this to anybody else?
That's very true. No, that's true though. You can taste that when you eat food. Like this person knows what they're doing.
But that's not what my point is. My point over here is that our mothers have been cooking for 30-40 years now. So what they do is that they have their own secrets. Okay, put this much amount of spice in it, and mutton won't smell bad, or stuff like that. I think this is very essential for cooking as well, right?
Yeah, but again, it comes because they are doing it for 40 years. now a young kid come to me and say, oh yes, Google, and they make this for me, and even if I make it and it tastes perfect and it tastes much different than anybody else cook, they will not even know this. They only look at pictures.
Exactly. Let's ask him.
I
think
it's much deeper. The point is she cooks with the love actually.
Yeah.
That's the main reason. The first thing we should tell to the apprentices and trainees that cook the food with the love.
Okay.
If there's no love, there's no you know, if you're not passionate about the food, you cannot cook good food.
It's so true because, like, even in because I live with housemates and stuff, we all split it up, and you can tell the difference between the person who's cooking it with love and the person who's cooking because they have to.
If you think it's just a chore,
yeah,
then it wouldn't ever
But
taste nice.
that's what they say, that, you know, a way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Exactly.
I think a way to anyone's heart is through their stomach, male or female, because I would love a good
But
meal
now,
too.
now
So
you
we
know,
have to wrap
since,
up now.
yeah, since we're moving towards the end, the only thing which I would love to ask, since we're observing International Chef Day, and to highlight the importance, it is obviously very mandatory for all of you guys to share your skill set with all of those younger people who want to be a part of this industry. How would you like to do that in near future?
We're in my restaurant, we're trying to hire interns. So basically, I'm running the whole restaurant. So I have different things to look after, which includes the service areas, the marketing, and all different aspects. So we are hiring interns, and the interns are going to be from universities, from the universities that are across Islamabad.
Excellent.
So we'll be hiring them to teach them, or they can learn the marketing aspect of the business, finances, and then the kitchen. So my aim is to develop more young people becoming entrepreneurs so that they can go out and start their own restaurant.
Wonderful, that's wonderful. Thomas.
Yeah, we are in a big organization. We have the Harshu Foundation. We are now working with them much more closer. We're also building within the company relationships to move people up. When there's in Rawal Pindi 42 apprentices, we give them also then opportunities. So in the moment we are building network and we are building up, and I think it's good for the future of the chefs.
Okay, and quickly, Hassan, what would you like to, going forward now, after today, how would you like to see the next year progress?
As Mr. Chatta had said, we are supporting the institutes and we are taking the interns. And I would only tell them that don't come for just sake of you are fond of cooking. Become a professional later. It's a great profession.
Amazing.
Wonderful. And Henna, quickly.
No, but there's also one reason that why apprentices come here. The mother and the father said, go and become a chef. There's a high scope in the world and highly paid chefs. We also have the mindsets, nah? But
okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. And you know our usual setup is our Facebook, Twitter page. But have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Inshallah, and I just can't wait to eat my
salad.
Yeah. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Thank you very much.